What do you say there, my fellow Christmas fanatics? That's right, I'll own up to it. I'm that guy.
I'm the Grinch that stole Christmas.
No, I'm just the guy who loves Christmas way more than a man my age probably should. I'm the annoying guy who starts listening to Christmas music the day after Halloween. Funny enough, this is actually the only time of year that I put on the actual radio. I know I can play Christmas music on my own, but it just hits different on the radio station. I also make my list of movies to watch every year. Red text is mandatory, green is second priority, and plain black text is if we have time. And what's this here? Why yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
On this issue there can be no debate.
But if we're being real, that's an old topic and enough people have talked about it already. However, it did get me thinking, why exactly is it a Christmas movie? There are a lot of people that will just say it takes place at Christmas time, therefore Christmas movie. But I don't think that's the best argument. I mean, First Blood takes place at Christmas time, but do you really think about Christmas when watching it? And I know a lot of people like to joke that Eyes Wide Shut is a Christmas movie. That is a ridiculous concept, and I absolutely refuse to entertain it. Naturally, this begs the question, what exactly makes a movie a Christmas movie? Where is the line officially drawn? Of course, we have those that no one disputes. A Christmas Carol, Home Alone, and the single greatest piece of fiction ever created, It's a Wonderful Life, as well as a whole host of others. So why is there no debate about these movies? Well, not only do they take place at Christmas time, but Christmas is paramount to their plots. Kevin's family is going on vacation for the holiday, which sets the entire story in motion. Scrooge learns the error of his ways by seeing how the joy and generosity of the season brings people together and how he has separated himself from his fellow man. And this, of course, must lead to the obvious conclusion about Die Hard. The entire plot is put into motion by an office Christmas party. The celebration gives Hans Gruber and his gang the opportunity to break in and hold the place hostage. So if that's your criteria, then there's really nothing to argue. Now some will say that you don't really need the Christmas party, and that the terrorists could have struck at any time of year. But couldn't we make that same point elsewhere? I mean, Kevin's family could have gone on vacation at any time of year. And if we're being honest, It's a Wonderful Life, perfect as it is barely even a Christmas movie until the last 30 minutes. And now while we're at it, another movie people like to debate is Gremlins. And again, you've got to acknowledge that Gizmo is literally bought as a Christmas present for Billy, setting up the whole plot of the movie. Another lame argument people make is that movies like Die Hard and Gremlins don't invoke those same fuzzy feelings as the quote-unquote real Christmas movies. You know, how they all end with the warmth of love and togetherness. But hey, John and Holly end up reconciling in the end, and I defy you to tell me that this moment doesn't absolutely break you down.
Bye, Billy.
Anyway, another point I'll drive home is that all the best Christmas movies have some real stakes to them. George Bailey protecting an entire town, Ebenezer Scrooge's immortal soul being redeemed, and yeah, the birth of a savior to all humanity. But you can't tell me that John McClane saving an office full of people doesn't rank up there with those. And it definitely blows Kevin's fight with the wet bandits out of the water. I actually think this is part of why A Christmas Story isn't one of my favorites. The stakes just feel so low for me. Either the kid gets the toy or he doesn't. Big whoop. Then again, the stakes are pretty low in Christmas Vacation, and I love that movie. Maybe childhood coming of age just isn't my genre. But back to my main point. I don't think a movie being an alternative genre, whether it be action or creature feature, necessarily disqualifies it from being a Christmas movie. Now, as the thumbnail of this video suggests, I also want to talk about the films that I can't in good conscience call Christmas movies. Specifically, let's go back to the two I already mentioned, First Blood and Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, they take place during the holidays, but it's largely in the background. We see the decorations here and there, but they don't feel like Christmas the way Die Hard does for me. In fact, I realized in writing this script that being uplifting is another criteria that I kinda need. The movie has to be at least a little heartwarming to count as a Christmas movie, Christmas horror being the obvious exception. And these two are pretty big downers, especially Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, even though he's one of my all-time favorites, Kubrick isn't exactly known for being heartfelt. Now, I totally understand that some of the rules I'm throwing around may seem arbitrary. So when all else fails, I simply ask the following. Do I think about Christmas when I think about the movie? All the classics? Obviously yes. But the same goes for a lot of these alternative picks. Though I do admit that could partially be the Streisand effect of people debating them so passionately. One movie that's sort of on the cusp for me is Lethal Weapon. The plot doesn't really hinge on the holiday, but it does have a pretty tender, wholesome ending that gets me emotional. and I go back and forth on whether it feels like Christmas or not. And with that, I'll toss it to you guys. Is Lethal Weapon a Christmas movie? And what do you think about all the arguments I laid out here? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, share your favorite Christmas movie too. Even though we all know the correct answer is It's a Wonderful Life.
What do you know about that? Merry Christmas!
I've been Kenny Steps. Take it easy, and keep stepping into the movies.